Australia has nearly 2,000 professional beekeepers managing more than 530,000 hives. Natural disasters along the east coast in recent years have had a dire effect. The crucial crop pollination industry is facing a worker shortage. Sky News Weather's Christy Lloyd has more.
I can't explain it enough to say how devastating it is over here at the moment.
The catastrophic impact of the 2019-2020 Black Summer bushfires, heightened by the significant number of hives lost during the flood crisis in northern New South Wales, has severely compromised Australia's honey production industry, poses potentially devastating consequences for the nation's agricultural sectors and food security resources.
We started off with the fires, and what happened with the fires, we lost about 600 hives were actually burnt, and then about another 800 hives died from impact. And we thought, yeah, that'll be okay. We'll get through that. It's going to be hard. But then last year we got hit with the floods in the mid-north coast. And then this year we've lost a further 500 hives to flood actual swept away. And we've lost about another 700 to what we call small hive beetle now.
Steve Fuller has worked in the beekeeping industry for over 40 years and says he's never seen anything like it.
I cannot describe it. It's worse than a war zone. Because most of the time when you have a flood, within a couple of weeks you can go in, you start cleaning up. But now it's just every week you go out to sites that you have bees, and you pick up the dead ones, you walk into the other ones and look what's still alive, and there's nothing you can do.
The effects will be felt for quite some time. Significant hive loss is forcing some beekeepers to pull out of pollination contracts.
I think the consumer will start to feel it over the next 12, 18 months more so.
65% of horticultural and agricultural crops require honeybees for pollination. This means that 1/3 of the food on your plate has been grown with the help of honeybees. The need for pollination services in Australia is increasing, so we could see flow-on effects to our food supply, ultimately leading to decreased yields and increased prices, including for almonds, blueberries, raspberries and blackberries.
We should be running about 5,000 hives at this time of the year. We're down to about 2,500 now.
Steve believes that with optimal weather conditions, it could take 2 to 3 years to fully recover. The industry remains hopeful. In response to the impact of extreme weather events, AgriFutures Australia received a grant from the Department of Agriculture, Water and Environment to launch the Bee Tech Challenge.
We put together a bushfire recovery plan with the honeybee industry, and one of the topics that came out of it was how can technology help us as an industry be prepared for not just bushfires but for drought resilience, for flood resilience, for hive health and hive security.
The challenge called for innovators to put forward established and emerging market-ready technology with the goal of recovering honeybee colonies. The finalists were then given the opportunity to present a 5-minute pitch to key industry stakeholders and to showcase their product at the 4th Australian Bee Congress in Sydney.
We just want to learn more about what are the issues affecting beekeepers and how can we help both beekeepers as well as growers and farmers be more efficient and effective.
BeeMate is one of the 7 finalists. It's a hive monitoring platform using cameras to analyse the flow of bees entering and exiting a hive.
Yeah, we built this device that sits on the front of a beehive and basically films every bee coming in and out of the hive, and from that we can see all sorts of data. So what's the hive strength, what's the hive health, are bees pollinating certain flowers, and so we're capturing all this data that users can access from their phone and online.
It's hoped the technology will enable beekeepers to work smarter, not harder.
So we wanted to work out the most carbon neutral way that we could go about developing a farming solution. So if the data's there and they can see what's happening and they can monitor their hives from home, there's no need for them to spend hours and hours driving, burning fuel that they don't need to. They can spend more time with their families. So yeah, it's a win-win.
Finalist Simon Burt hopes his product will minimise the risk of severe weather events on hives by providing beekeepers with updates on potential threats ahead of time.
So knowing that, yes, the wind speed's coming from this direction, yes, your hives are possibly in trouble, and it gives us every opportunity to get out there and try to fix that before it becomes a catastrophic issue. People lose their livelihoods, they lose lots, and the mental strain, and that's just terrible for some people to watch people go through that. So if we can work together and we can come up with a solution that is ultimately going to help everybody, help the bee, help the pollination industry, help the produce that we know we're having trouble sourcing and growing due to the environmental situations that we face, well, I think we're definitely on the right path to making a difference.
Christy Lloyd, Sky News.